For centuries, Jerusalem was far more than just a city. It was a powerful symbol of faith, a divine promise, and a sacred destiny for different peoples across the world. When deeply held beliefs collide and powerful interests intersect, the very course of history can be altered forever. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most defining and dramatic chapters of the Middle Ages, the Crusades. This is a journey marked by intense devotion, honor, brilliant strategy, and a fierce religious rivalry between Christianity and Islam. We'll focus particularly on the First and Third Crusades, exploring how it all began, who the main figures were, and why these momentous events still echo through our world today. Before we delve into this epic story, if you enjoy exploring the past, please take a moment to like this video, share it with your fellow history lovers, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows us to keep producing deep and well-researched historical content just like this. To truly understand the Crusades, we must first travel back in time to 11th century Europe. Imagine a continent that was largely fragmented and rural, where life was guided by the unwavering hand of religion. The church held immense influence, not just over the souls of common people, but over the decisions of kings and nobles. Faith wasn't merely a private spiritual matter. It shaped political alliances, fueled ambitions, and ignited conflicts. Meanwhile, in the East, the Islamic world was experiencing a golden age. It was a civilization thriving with cultural and scientific advancements, home to bustling centers of learning, extensive trade networks, and sophisticated political organization. And at the heart of the growing tension between these two worlds stood Jerusalem, a city sacred to Christians, Muslims, and Jews alike. This holy ground would soon become the focal point of a clash that would resonate for centuries. Jerusalem occupied a unique and cherished place in the religious imagination of the medieval world. For Christians, it was the hallowed ground where Jesus lived, taught, was crucified, and resurrected. It was the ultimate destination for a pilgrim's journey, a physical connection to the divine. For Muslims, the city held profound sacred meaning, linked to the Prophet Muhammad's miraculous night journey and ascension. For long periods, peaceful coexistence had been possible, and Christian pilgrims were generally able to visit the holy sites without major restrictions. However, shifting political dynamics in the Middle East, particularly the rise of the Seljuk Turks, began to cause alarm in Christian Europe. Stories of difficulties faced by pilgrims, whether exaggerated or not, spread like wildfire. The idea of reclaiming Jerusalem for Christendom gradually transformed from a distant hope into what many saw as a sacred mission, a divine calling. This sentiment reached a fever pitch in 1095. At the Council of Clermont in France, Pope Urban II delivered a speech that would change the world. He issued a historic and passionate call to arms, urging the Knights Nobles and all faithful believers of Europe to journey to the East. His message was a powerful blend of spiritual promise and worldly incentive. He spoke of liberating their Christian brethren, securing the holy sites, and offered the promise of spiritual redemption, a remission of sins for those who took up the cross. It was a call to a holy war, a righteous cause that promised divine purpose and eternal honor. The Pope's call spread with astonishing speed, resonated deeply across a society steeped in faith and martial tradition. Preachers carried the message from town to town, inspiring an unprecedented response. Nobles saw a chance for glory and land, warriors sought adventure and purpose. Even peasants and clergy, driven by fervent piety, joined what would become a journey unlike any seen before. This was the birth of the First Crusade. The First Crusade wasn't a single unified army marching under one banner. It was, in reality, several distinct groups, often led by powerful feudal lords, advancing at different times and through different routes. They were venturing into the unknown, crossing unfamiliar and often hostile lands. The journey was grueling. They faced the brutal realities of climate extremes, constant hunger, disease, and immense logistical challenges. Along the way, fragile alliances were forged out of necessity, but tensions and rivalries, both with local populations and among the Crusaders themselves, frequently erupted. After years of relentless campaigning, brutal sieges, and immense sacrifice, the unexpected happened. In the summer of 1099, the Crusader armies breached the walls of Jerusalem. The city fell under their control. This shocking outcome sent ripples across the known world. It profoundly reshaped the political landscape of the region and led to the establishment of the Crusader states, a temporary but significant Christian presence in the heart of the Islamic world. The fall of Jerusalem was a major blow to the Islamic world, but it also served as a powerful catalyst. In the aftermath of the First Crusade, a gradual but determined process of political and military reorganization began. Regional leaders, who had once been fractured by internal rivalries, started to recognize that their own disunity had been a key factor in the European advance. A new generation of leadership began to emerge, one that emphasized discipline, strategic cooperation, and a renewed sense of shared purpose. This transformation would pave the way for the rise of one of history's most iconic figures, Saladin. Saladin rose from this period of turmoil to become a political and military leader of unparalleled stature, a man so respected that he was admired even by his enemies. His primary goals were clear: to unite the often feuding Islamic territories under his rule and, above all, to recapture the holy city of Jerusalem. His reputation was built on a foundation of strategic genius, unwavering determination, and a surprising capacity for chivalry and mercy. In 1187, at the decisive Battle of Hattin, Saladin's forces crushed the army of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Shortly after, the city itself surrendered, turning to Islamic control and once again shifting the balance of power in the Holy Land. The news of Jerusalem's fall sent shockwaves across Europe. The response was immediate and immense. A new call for a crusade went out, and this time it was answered by the most powerful monarchs of the age. Kings and emperors prepared to lead their armies to the east. Among them was one of the most renowned and romanticized rulers of the entire medieval period, Richard I of England, better known as Richard the Lionheart. The Third Crusade was set to be a clash of titans, marked by major military campaigns, intense diplomacy, and a series of legendary strategic encounters between the greatest commanders of their time. Richard the Lionheart quickly became the living embodiment of the European chivalric ideal. He was a formidable warrior, a brilliant tactician, and a charismatic leader who inspired unwavering loyalty in his men. His personal courage on the battlefield was legendary. While the ultimate goal of retaking Jerusalem eluded him, his military victories and steadfast leadership secured his enduring historical reputation as a heroic king. Remarkably, in the midst of this brutal conflict, Richard and his great rival Saladin developed a unique relationship built on a foundation of mutual respect and a shared code of honor, a rarity for any era, let alone the medieval period. After years of exhaustive warfare, the Third Crusade ended not with a decisive final battle, but with a negotiation. It became clear that neither side could completely dislodge the other. A truce was brokered, while Jerusalem remained under Islamic control. The agreements signed by Richard and Saladin ensured that unarmed Christian pilgrims would have safe and open access to the holy sites. The conflict left deep and lasting marks on both civilizations, shaping political, religious, and cultural relations for centuries to come. The Crusades had redefined borders, redrawn maps, and fundamentally altered the mindsets and historical narratives of both East and West. It's crucial to remember that the Crusades were not solely religious campaigns. They were complex events with far-reaching consequences. They dramatically influenced trade routes, spurred cultural exchange, and transformed the arts of diplomacy and warfare. Their legacy is complicated and controversial, continuing to shape modern discussions on faith, cultural identity, and the very nature of coexistence between civilizations. It's essential to understanding the complex world we inhabit today. If you've made it this far, congratulations on exploring one of the most fascinating and complex chapters of human history with us. If this documentary added value to your knowledge, please show your support by liking the video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into history. Your support truly makes all the difference. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.